Shulam and Brocha, Parshas Vayechi. I'm going to go on off piste, as they say. I'm going to schmooze with you about matters I've never really brought up, because I've never discussed with the oilem the murky waters that make up what is called politics. It's not my job, not my position. It's a subject from which I've tried to keep my distance. Somewhere stuck in the bottom of my drawers, in my home, are letters from United States senators, congressmen, New York City mayors, and yes, even a few sporting presidential seal. These were sent to me when I wore a younger man's clothing and attest to a career in communal asconas. Let me explain. Back in those days, I held a voluntary position of founding vice president of the Council of Jewish Organizations of Borough Park, Brooklyn. Now, to the uninitiated, this was the first local Orthodox Jewish organization in New York City that was created as an umbrella group to represent the growing Haredi Orthodox community. And its constituents were yeshivas, kehillas, full gamut of shtiblach, voluntary self-help groups, everyone who was working for the tzibur. And it was my honor to represent what was then this fledgling community that was seeking to gain a foothold in the new golas called America. As a Yankee-born English-speaking Hasidish menahal of a local moiset, I found myself becoming a spokesman for a community that desperately needed to tap into the corridors of power, both in the city and further afield. Hence, a collection of letters and pictures. I met with many, many elected officials. I sat at many, many meetings, all the way up into the White House. And I could tell you stories. I share this piece of ancient history for a purpose. Not to announce my candidacy for some high position, but rather to bear witness that the whole pageant is nothing but vapor and falseness. Now, as the secular calendar turns to its page, to the new year, much is being spoken about concerning new directions and unproven leaders, Brexit, America, where we stand with COVID. There's so much to talk about in the coffee rooms of shuls filled with sage discussions of the merits of this fellow and this chochem and that party. And yeah, it's all brilliant. Take it from this weathered veteran. Let me clue you in. It's all a facade. It's Hashem's staged direction that is moving the pieces of the chessboard of world events. And all the posturing won't ever change that fact. Whoever takes up the reins of power is just a walk-on player in the drama that we call history. And although we are meant to participate, we must never lose sight of the one ultimate truth. Hashem runs the world, and all we see is his plan. Now, I could regale you with tales of broken promises and skullduggery and backstabbing and plain old anti-Semitic disregard to the truth. Those glory days of catching shuttle planes to Washington to meet totally inebriated senators or to plead the case for some part of our community. It's part of my CV. Whatever, it's there. And I often look back and I wonder, what was it all about? Why did I have to live in that particular Mitzrayim and serve in that particular position? And I'll tell you, my cohorts, some of the Askonim who were with me then, are now Choshev Rabbanim. There was a time, there was a moment in the Golas that they needed us to do this, whatever it was that we did. But it's all Kav Yuchot Eibishter that runs it. Truth be told, as being part of that on that stage, which Hashem manages, I know I played a role. Hopefully I did my best. It's been over 45 years since I hung up my political hat. And I thank Kav Yuchot Eibishter daily that the same plan that allowed for me and the Rebbetzin Shulim to serve to participate in whatever it was that we were doing. And hopefully we did good things for many Yidden. That same plan had for us both to come here to England and serve the Rabbanis for all these years. I brush off these old memories because I feel particularly well placed to tell anyone listening that no matter who sits in whichever office, it's all play acting. Hashem has his plan, and all these players are just that, actors on a stage. The most important thing we as Yidden must always be aware is that Hashem is the only one, and his Ratzon, his will, is for us to keep the mitzvahs and create Kiddush Hashem. Kiddush Hashem in all our activities. In the Haftorah, this week's Parsha, Vayechi, we see David HaMelech telling his son Shlomo that there could be no deviation from the Torah's emes, from the truth of the Torah. These are his dying words. And he wants them to be inscribed in his wise son's heart. He says, I go the way of the earth. Be strong. Become a man. Safeguard the charge of Hashem, Kav Yuchel, your God, and walk in his ways, to observe his decrees, his commandments, ordinances, and the testimonials as written in the Torah of Moshe, so that you will succeed in all that you do and wherever you turn. The first point David HaMelech makes is that there is no other path than that of Hashem. And this can be found in any place one turns. What did the Pasuk say? Wherever you turn means just that. Wie du bist, where Hashem puts us, you must find Hashem. You must find his Ratzon. Whatever the world churns out, it's all Hashem. In every situation, the Torah will speak to those that seek and listen. We are in Golos. And as such, we have to do shtadlonis. That's what we do. Yes, 100%. But it should be done with Edelkeit. It should be done with Kiddush Hashem. And it should be done with a knowledge that you're just a player. I wish to get Aran. He will give you the chen, whatever's needed, but it's all Hashem. This may mean representing the Jewish nation in the front of secular powers of the time. No matter where or to whom wherever we turn, we must speak of Torah truth and reaffirm our connection with Hashem. In the Parsha itself, there's a moving moment as Yaakov Avinu bids farewell to his sons at his last moments. He doesn't hold back. But he tells them of their weaknesses and how to safeguard themselves from self-inflicted harm. Why? Why not finish Yaakov's life with sweet words and calm goodbyes? And because although that may play well in the gallery, it's not the truth that Yaakov knew he has to speak. Golus is a dangerous place, and the future of Klal Yisrael needed direction from the last of its founding fathers. In the darkness into which they were entering, there would be need sometimes to seek favor in the eyes of those in power. It may not always be clear to us what is real and what is a mirage. Yaakov's final words to his sons were geared to give them chizik, hope for that future. His holy words drifted from his lips, and his sons rallied together with a spontaneous acclamation. Shema Yisrael! Listen, Father Yaakov, Shema Yisrael! Hashem Elokeinu! Hashem Echad! Hashem, your God, is our God. We are one with you, Father of our faith. No matter what the future will serve up, we will always know that the one great truth, that this is all Hashem's rotzon, His will, and we will serve this will for eternity. Yaakov falls on his pillow and says, Baruch Shem Kavod. Thank you, Hashem. Thank you, Hashem, for this schus. Thank you for allowing me to know that I have faithfully given this diverse family its true role and focus. This is all we need to get by in Golus. Let presidents make their speeches. Party leaders create their plans. Salz is our spiel. We must never lose sight of our focus, that we await the coming of the Mashiach. Amen.